Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today we're answering some burning questions that fans have about the sobering reality check John McEnroe delivered to Nick Kyrgios. Fans also want to know, how did Nick Kyrgios react to girlfriend Christine Hotsey making Maxim's 100 hot Australian women list? Stay tuned to learn the answers to all of this and more. First up, why would Nick Kyrgios care what John McEnroe has to say? Tennis fans everywhere know and love the legendary John McEnroe. His raw talent and skill make him a winner on the tennis court, but his cocky personality was often the topic of discussion, as well as the center of plenty of controversies. Not only was he a star athlete, but he also appeared on the big screen in a few documentaries about himself. In fact, his behavior on and off the court earned him nicknames such as McBrat and Super Brat. Some people say that it isn't being cocky if you can back it up, and McEnroe definitely was able to back up his actions by winning. Over his career, he won 7 Grand Slam titles, as well as 155 ATP titles. He was voted Tennis Magazine's Rookie of the Year in 1977, and that same year made history by becoming the youngest man to qualify for the Wimbledon semifinals. At the same time that he was making a name for himself on the tennis court, he was also earning the name of tennis's bad boy. Needless to say, John McEnroe is not only a tennis legend, but also shares a lot of similarities with Australia's own rising tennis star Nick Kyrgios. The things the two athletes have in common make the fact that McEnroe had some advice to issue to the younger player even more significant. When John McEnroe singles out a player, that player better listen up. Are you ready to hear what sobering advice the legend had for the up-and-comer? What was the sobering reality check that McEnroe delivered Kyrgios? The former tennis bad boy had some strong words of advice to give to Australia's very own Nick Kyrgios. His words were full of wisdom that can only come from someone who has experienced the exact same things in their career. While doing media interviews promoting his new self-titled documentary, McEnroe issued this reality check to Kyrgios. You're afraid to go out and give 100% effort every time in the fear that if you do that and lose, that somehow you're a lesser person or you don't feel as good about yourself. McEnroe later clarified that was just his personal theory he has come up with from watching Kyrgios as well as from being in the same position when he was younger. He went on to say how he really wishes that Nick would just confront and deal with his fear of failure, and that is a fear all athletes face and have to find a way to overcome. This tough love advice definitely served as a wake-up call for Kyrgios. It is incredibly important to have a short-term memory when you are an athlete, whenever it comes to winning or losing. McEnroe feels that all athletes tie their emotions up too much in terms of whether they have won or lost. Instead, whether you win or lose, you cannot afford to let it affect you. Consistency is key when you are performing at the level these athletes do. McEnroe truly believes that Kyrgios is one of the most talented tennis players he's ever seen in the last decade and is overflowing with skill and talent. However, he feels that Kyrgios has been unable to match his talent with consistency. What else did McEnroe have to say? McEnroe made it clear that he does not care what controversial antics the young athlete does. In fact, he encouraged him to keep them up, stating, "Play all the trick shots you want and don't give up the theatrics, but come off the court knowing you're giving it 100% every time before it's too late." Whoa, talk about a reality check. A good dose of tough love is good for everyone. McEnroe says it with a sincere heart. He truly wants Kyrgios to realize the extraordinary potential that his tennis career has before it's too late. Kyrgios is on a hot streak right now. 2022 has been the best season that the 27-year-old has had yet. Kyrgios and Thanasi Kokkinakis teamed up to win the Australian Open doubles. In addition to the talents he has a charisma that pulls people to him and is bringing great publicity to the sport of tennis. Fans can't get enough of him. Kids love him, and even the other players love him, except for when they are matched up against him. The final portion of his 2022 season has been a little quiet, as he has stepped back from a few end-of-season tournaments in order to nurse a knee injury. He needs to give his knee all the proper attention that it needs in preparation for going full steam ahead into the Australian Open, where he will be chasing the singles title in January 2023. Hopefully, the athlete took McEnroe's words to heart and will throw caution to the wind, finally, and give the sport every single ounce of grit and determination that he has every single time. Next up, what is going on with Kyrgios' girlfriend? Not only is Kyrgios a winner on the tennis court, but he would also proudly say that he is a winner off the court as well. His girlfriend, Christine Christine Hotze was recently named in Maxim's Hot 100 Australian Women. His response? This is epic. Kyrgios was full of praise and congratulations for his girlfriend after the list was revealed. Other women on the list include actress Margot Robbie, who landed the #1 spot for a record-breaking 3rd time, as well as athletes Sam Kerr, Ashley Barty, and Emma McKeon, also landing in the top 5. Kyrgios and Hotze took their relationship public in December last year when they made it Instagram official. She's often spotted supporting him at matches. The 21-year-old is a social media influencer and has an enormous following on Instagram. Kyrgios made a congratulatory post for her on this social media platform saying, "Congrats Christine Hotze, keep working. This is epic. Top 21 most influential females in Australia." Kyrgios is very proud of his girlfriend and her achievements. Did you know that he even has her first name tattooed on his right leg? He also gives her credit for keeping him focused and grounded. He said, in addition to him working hard and making every practice session count, it really helps to have a supportive girlfriend to keep him focused instead of him going out every night. He also gives praise to the other members of his team that makes his success possible. At one point this year, they had all spent 4 months on the road, and he wanted to perform well for every single one of them who had made sacrifices to help keep him going strong. Despite all of his success and mindset being in a good place, the past still lingers. Before dating Christine Hotze, he had a bitter breakup which led to assault charges being pressed. Stick around to hear more about that. What happened with the assault allegations from his ex-girlfriend? Prior to being with Hotze, Kyrgios was in a relationship with Chiara Pissarri. The pair had begun dating in July 2020 and broke up the following year in October. However, Kyrgios was accused of grabbing Pissarri's arm aggressively during an argument. The incident was reported to authorities, but it took several months for Kyrgios to be served with a court summons over the issue. According to Pissarri, it took 7 months. He received the summons while at the Wimbledon Championships. Many fans were in an uproar over the timing of him receiving the summons, thinking that it was intended to mess with Kyrgios mentally and throw him off his game. But was this really something done with malicious and calculated intent, or was it just a matter of bad timing? Pissarri claims that it is a flaw within the justice system since it took so long for the courts to act on it after being made aware of her allegations. Kyrgios' legal team appeared in the ACT Magistrates Court last month to defend the athlete. They sought to have the assault charges dismissed on mental health grounds. Under the law, magistrates have the power to dismiss charges if they are satisfied that the accused person is mentally impaired and that dealing with the allegation in that way would benefit the community as well as the defendant. Magistrate Glenn Teakston adjourned the case until February 3rd when the tennis star will make an in-person appearance. Forensic mental health papers are being prepared to be presented in court on that date, and Kyrgios' lawyer has already presented the court with his mental health history since 2015. Well, that is all we have in store for you today. Thank you for tuning in. Drop a comment below and let us know your predictions for Nick Kyrgios' upcoming 2023 season and any other opinions you have. See you next time.